The reality is most dogs in households are fucking bored. They're miserable and they're repressed and they're lacking outlets that satisfies their needs. And because they're lacking outlets that satisfies their needs, they find outlets on their own. And these are all the behavioral issues that we hate. So today I want to talk about the quickest fix to make your dog happier, satisfy their needs, and lessen the likelihood of behavioral issues. So there's a reason that play, interactive play, is the cornerstone of my training program. So whether you're playing tug or whether you're playing fetch, it's important to understand what dogs want to do on a genetic level. Like really, what do dogs want to do, right? And breed is definitely important, but at the end of the day, all dogs are domesticated predators and they want to chase and bite shit, right? So that's what play does. Now, I'm not going to talk about the individual games and the benefits of them. That's for a separate video. But whether we're playing fetch, where the dog chases the ball, bites it, and brings it back, or whether we're playing tug, that's a more competitive game, and the dog is chasing, biting, thrashing in a competitive defensive way, they both satisfy the dog in different ways. But regardless, for every owner, if you start incorporating play, whether it is fetch or it is tug, just that in and of itself is going to satisfy your dogs more. But let me talk about the benefits of play and why we play with dogs. So to continue off of my last point, many dogs develop issues because they're lacking outlets that satisfy their needs, right? So providing them an outlet to say, hey dog, I understand you're a dog. I understand you have these desires, these wants and needs. This is where you can do all of that stuff in play. It's like a kid that is getting in trouble in school, right? Maybe he's getting into some fights and you see this kid has like this desire in him. It's like, all right, dude, well, you can't be fighting in school, but let's go enroll you in BJJ. Let's go enroll you in some type of physical and mental outlet so you can get that outlet that satisfies that need so you're not doing it in school. And that's kind of the way it is with our dogs, right? It's like, hey, dude, you have this desire, this predisposition in you, right? We want to give them an outlet that makes them tick, that makes them feel like they're on cloud nine, that satisfies those desires that they have. And that's what play does. So the dog doesn't seek outlets on their own, whether it's reactivity, aggression, maybe the dog starts to develop fear or they start to develop anxiety. Play is their therapy for all of that. So that is my first point. The second point, and the way I go about approaching training, is I look at play as a game that we can develop skills in. Again, going back to the child reference, it's like enrolling your kid in a sport, and within that sport, they're getting that physical and mental outlet, but they're also learning skill sets of the sport, but skill sets that also transfer out of the sport, like discipline, determination, teamwork, resiliency, grit. It's the same thing for our dogs. We can build this game that the dog, by the way, freaking loves, so it couldn't create more of a positive learning environment for your dog. And we can also use this game to teach skills to our dogs, whether it be obedience, rule sets, or consequences that also transfer outside of the game of play. We introduce all of that inside of the game. So the game essentially becomes our practice field. So it's a really beautiful thing because this is where the dog owner and the dog can begin to build their mutual communication, the languages that they're going to use. You can start to build that in play, the outlet that is giving the dog a lot of feel-good emotions. The third point of why we play with dogs is you hear a lot of dog owners say, my dog is great except when the doorbell goes off, except when we see another dog, except we see a person walking past our front bay window, right? My dog is great except, and that except is always a moment where the dog has reached a state of arousal, a state of excitement. The owner has lost control of the dog. The dog goes, yeah, I hear you, but off, I'm not going to listen. So the beautiful thing about play is we're intentionally putting the dog in a very high state of arousal. Play is one of the highest state of arousals that the dog will be in. So we're intentionally putting the dog in that state of arousal, and we begin to develop control of the dog in that state of mind, where we're tugging with the dog and I say, spit it out or drop it, whatever your command is. Now the dog has to drop it. And now maybe I give him a further command and I tell him not to go for it until I give him that release. So we're practicing and rehearsing getting the dog to listen to you in that state of arousal. So when you need it, when your doorbell goes off or when somebody walks past the front window where you see a dog on the walk, you've already practiced in play getting that dog to listen to you and to prioritize your direction. And I always tell dog owners, if you can't get it in play, how are you going to get it in all those other situations? So again, play is your practice field for where you practice all this stuff with your dog. My fourth point, definitely last but not least, is emotional change. Play is the biggest contributor to emotional change. So Many dogs that are fearful and anxious, they're just looking for that outlet that makes them feel good, that puts them on cloud nine, that brings some life into them, right? It's like the dog's therapy. If you have a very fearful dog and all of a sudden they start playing tug and they go, oh my God, this feels good. Or they start chasing the ball and they go, oh my God, like I feel like a dog again. We're tapping into the things that the dog wants to do. Just that in and of itself over time is going to start to reduce that dog's fear, is going to start to reduce that dog's anxiety. Or maybe you have a dog that's typically reactive towards other dogs on the walk. So maybe we go outside the dog park and we begin playing outside the dog park. So the dog is now doing an outlet that they love, that makes them feel really good with dogs in the distance. And they hear those dogs, they see them, they notice them, but they're like, yeah, that's cool, but I'm more lost in the sauce with my owner playing this game. So we're doing something that the dog really loves around dogs that they would typically be reactive towards. So we're starting to change that association of being around the dogs that they would normally react to. The reality is I could make this video probably 45 minutes long, but for most people watching this, if you just begin to incorporate play on a daily basis with your dog, and I get it, some dogs might not play right away. Do not give up. I promise you, if you just try 10 minutes every single day and put the effort in to try to get your dog to play, that dog, it's like dusting the dog off. Like, man, he doesn't know how to be a dog. It's like taking him off the shelf and dusting him off and kind of just putting on, it's almost like a sports player. Man, I haven't thrown this ball in a long time. Man, I haven't put these pads on in a long time. I don't know if I could do it, right? It's the same thing with your dog. If they're not playing, it's just kind of they forgot how to be a dog. So put in a little bit of effort, and I promise you, just incorporating play on a daily basis is going to make your dog so much happier, which is in turn going to reduce the behavioral issues that they're currently dealing with or the prevention of behavioral issues happening. Much love to all you guys. Play with your dogs more, and I'll see you in the next one.